At Diversionary Theatre, Hedwig and the Angry Inch is having its first fondle probe. That sounds painful, but artistic director Matt Morrow explains.
You're visiting us during our Vondel probe, which is a rehearsal that we have with the band, and this is only the second rehearsal that the band has had with the cast.
Morrow has been waiting 20 years to direct Hedwig and the Angry Inch, and his memory of seeing it off-Broadway in the 90s is still vivid.
Oh my God, when I first saw Hedwig, it blew me away. It just rocked me to my core.
Don't you know me? I'm the new Berlin Wall. Try and tear me down.
Rocked not just by the score, but also by the story.
Hedwig is the ultimate outsider, and I think that many people connect with that point of view and connect with what it feels like to not be understood and to have to fight to be heard and to be seen as who you are and not what the world wants you to be.
Hedwig and the Angry Inch centers on an East German singer who goes through a botched sex change operation that leaves her with an angry inch, and a gender that's neither male nor female.
We're living in a time right now of considerable political strife, and Hedwig to me is like a superhero with her outlook on life that's just outrageous and bold and brave.
And some were too young to appreciate Hedwig when it first became an underground hit off-Broadway.
20 years ago, I was 8 years old, so I hadn't really heard of Hedwig before coming into audition.
Cachet Monnier plays Hedwig's husband, Yitzhak, in what promises to be a very different take on the show.
I don't want to give anything away in terms of the look. I can say that we have some genius designers, and Elisa Benzoni, our costume designer, and Peter Herman, our wig and makeup designer. Most people, when they think of Hedwig, they think of the iconic sort of blonde flip wig. We are paying homage to that with this production, but we are doing something completely different. It's a different time than it was back in the 90s, and I think that Hedwig deserves a new aesthetic.
The look of this new aesthetic is not on display at the rehearsal, except in terms of the casting of the lead role.
We did a nationwide search for a gender non-binary or trans performer to fill Hedwig's boots, and I'm really thrilled with who we found right in our own backyard. Jeremy Wilson is an amazing non-binary actor. It's part of the conversation that we're having as a nation right now, and we have to honor opportunities for non-binary performers, and I think Hedwig is a really great way into that conversation and celebrate the diversity of gender.
Jeremy Wilson remembers the impact Hedwig's song Origin of Love had on him.
That definitely was life-changing because at the time I didn't know the word genderqueer or non-binary, but I've always felt different. And Hedwig is this beautiful creature that doesn't fit into a box.
The origin of love.
And it really shaped a lot of my life from then on. And I knew from that moment that I wanted to play that role.
And there were 3 sexes, then one that looked like you and grew up back to back.
Wilson likes that Hedwig opens up conversations about gender.
We weren't really having those conversations in the 90s as we are today. What I find so beautiful about this piece is that it translates to everyone. And this person's story can, although unique, can really be found in anyone's story when it all boils down.
Society probably isn't ready to dispose of the idea of gender altogether, but maybe it would consider adding new categories that people like Hedwig and Wilson can identify with. Beth Accomando, KPBS News.